What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Week 16 edition of the Say What You Like Sports Podcast. We will be making our weekly picks. We're going to be recapping Week 15 and making our picks for Week 16 and maybe even, end it off, tie it all up in a bow, and start ranking some quarterbacks because we wanted to talk a little bit about Drew Brees' big day.
Yeah.
Kind of where he ranks all time as far as quarterbacks go. But first, let me take a look at the Pro Pick'em app and see how I did. It looks like I went 10 and 6 in my picks. I picked Washington. That didn't really work out for me. We both went Tennessee over Houston and lost that one, right?
Yeah. I think it starts off with the Baltimore game.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's right. I did that again. It's like the second week in a row I've totally just screwed this thing up. The Baltimore game is the Thursday.
Well, that one doesn't
game.
really. Yeah, that one.
I mean, do we even have to talk about that? Look, it was 99% to 1. I think
that
Joe
game was
Namath
over.
Must be on the Pro Pick'em app.
And he's drinking again.
Yeah, he's drinking again. And then we took Seattle, right?
Yeah.
We both did.
Yeah, and then why did you pick? Was that just?
I picked Washington because I just have no excuse.
No.
And then Tennessee.
Oh, we're getting to mine in a little bit too.
Tennessee, I really felt like it doesn't seem to you like every December Tennessee gets on a roll.
Yeah.
Starts right. Tannehill looks like a decent quarterback. I mean, and Houston, not that I don't think they're a good team, but I figured Tennessee's going to be at home.
Yeah.
And get the running game going, and they can probably
That's what I
think. Win.
I think that was because I felt the same way too. I mean, they play them one more time. I think at the end of the year. It'll be in Houston, but for Tennessee, that this game you probably should have won. I thought they should have won, and Houston just kind of imposed their will on them.
Yeah, definitely. Then let's see, we got Miami and the New York Giants. I picked the New York Giants on that one, man.
I was going back and forth. I settled on the Giants, and it was nice. Eli loses, wins, back at 500.
That's where he's going to end up at the end.
Yeah,
for sure. And then I had Kansas City over Denver. Didn't you pick Denver?
Oh yeah,
I was.
Yeah, I just thought that I was drinking the Drew Lock Kool-Aid, man, and that came crashing down real quick.
New England over Cincinnati. That was a win.
Cincinnati.
Tampa Bay over Detroit. I took.
Jameis starts the game. His first series is a pick, and then he throws four touchdowns
after
400 yards.
He's the leading passer now, right?
Yeah, he leads the league in touchdowns and interceptions.
That's awesome.
I think he leads the league in pick sixes too.
That's awesome.
That's
the best.
It really is. He's amazing. How could you not just watch? I don't want him on my team, but I love to watch. Yes.
Chicago, I took Green Bay, so that was another W.
Yep.
I did take the L. I picked Oakland and
the city of Oakland took the L.
Yeah, they really did, right?
They really did. How do you lose that? It's the last game in Oakland. You lost to the Jags. This wasn't New England. This wasn't Baltimore. This wasn't a powerhouse. This was like Minshew coming in there, and you guys lose to him. This has to be Derek Carr's last season in Oakland. I'm not even a Raiders fan.
I think it's all their last season in Oakland.
Well, it's the last season in silver and black.
Yeah.
I think it'll be somewhere else, but to leave the stadium with that kind of look and feel it's just ridiculous.
Then I took the L because I picked the Cleveland Browns, man.
Oh no,
that's dumpster fire.
Yeah, they got people saying, "Come get me." You're screwed when your own team wants to go play for the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I know that's not the Patriots. You're saying hey, come get me.
A
perennial playoff team. This is the damn Arizona Cardinals. They picked number 1 in the draft last year.
Yeah, that's Cleveland's just a mess.
I took Minnesota after the over the Chargers, got the dub on that one.
Yeah, smash them.
I took the L because of your Frisco 49ers, man. I didn't see Atlanta pulling off the upset.
I took that L in my soul. That one hurt.
I happily took this next L. I took the LA Rams over the Dallas Cowboys.
I did too.
I'm happy to take that L.
Man, that was wow. I think Dallas showed they can whenever they want to flex their muscle, whenever they can get a flex on. They can do some damage.
Then we have Buffalo. I took the dub over Pittsburgh.
I took Pittsburgh. Remind me never to pick Duck Hodges in anything again.
No. And then I also got the dub for New Orleans over Indy.
Yeah.
Going 10-6.
Broke the all-time touchdown record.
Yes, and we're going to get a little bit more into that in just a bit. But let me go ahead. Let's make these picks for Week 16. So we got the first game, the Saturday game. There's 3 Saturday games this weekend. We got Houston at Tampa Bay. How you looking at this game?
Give me crazy Jameis Winston. I got 2 interceptions, 5 touchdowns, 350 yards. One of those interceptions is a pick 6, 90-yard touchdown. I've seen something ridiculous. But you know what, though? Quiet as it's kept, the Bucs are playing pretty good. I mean, their defense kind of running a form. They're at home. Houston just won a division game on the road. I could see this early Saturday game. I could see this as a trap game. I got the Bucs.
Oh, man. Give me the Houston Texans. I just don't trust the Bucs week in and week out.
You can trust the Bucs to be entertaining, and Jameis is gonna throw. He's gonna throw the ball.
Yeah, to whoever's there.
Whoever's there. Whoever's there.
Whoever's there.
Ref, defensive, offensive, don't even matter.
Then we got the Buffalo Bills at the New England Patriots. You know what, man? The Patriots are the favorite by 6.5. I think Buffalo I think they've got the momentum. And I see them upsetting the New England Patriots, trying to steal that division.
Oh, give me New England. They're at home. Belichick will be ready for Josh Allen. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. You know what? It might be a little bit better version of the Dallas-New England game, where it's a special teams, because I think that's where they're going to win this game, is on special teams. Block punt, block field goal, something along those lines, punt return. I agree with you. Brady's not that great right now. Buffalo's on fire. They just won 10 games. They're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But, I still think New England is New England for at least this season.
And then we have a game you're going to be glued to, I'm sure.
Oh,
we
yes.
have the LA Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. I think San Francisco's got to listen to that wake-up call and just trounce the Rams. I mean, I think the Rams are a division opponent. They may give you a little run here and there, but I don't see how they can actually pull this game off.
We're at home. I think that was a wake-up call. Everyone kind of got full of themselves. You beat New Orleans in New Orleans. That's saying something. Very easy to come back home after 2 weeks off and lay an egg like they did. But you know what? I think they're going to impose their will on the Rams and sweep them for the first time in God knows how long.
Yeah, I totally see that one playing out like that. Then let's get to the Sunday games. We got the New York Giants at the Washington Redskins. The Redskins are favored by 2.5. And give me Washington in this game. They're at home. I think Eli's got to fall back under 500, and he'll probably get to 500 by the time the season's over.
One would hope.
One would think.
Yes. I'm going to take Washington, too. I think they're just going to, they're just a better team. But I wouldn't be shocked to see Eli do it to them. You know what? Changed my mind. I'm going with the Giants.
All right, go for it.
I got Eli winning this one. Because, the Washington...
You realize we're in 2019 and not 2009, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But what are the Redskins?
Well, they haven't been good since 1989.
Yeah, exactly.
So, let's see. We got the New Orleans Saints at the Tennessee Titans. This is tough.
Yeah.
I can see Tennessee, making this a game. They're at home. New Orleans just played a great game.
We're going to see what Tennessee's made of. Because you just got beat. Do you let that loss to the Houston Texans kind of just define your season, or do you rally and win? At the end of the day, I still think New Orleans is just going to be a little bit too much for Tennessee. I think it'll be a close game. So maybe by a field goal, 4 points. I could see 24-20 kind of game. But, yeah, give me New Orleans.
Yeah, I'll take New Orleans in the end. But I really would not be surprised if Tennessee can keep it close, maybe even pull up an upset. But ultimately, New Orleans is just the better team. Then we have Pittsburgh, which is going in as the favorite on the road against the New York Jets. Give me the Jets in this one. They're
really?
At home. The Jets are not as bad as people think. They're bad. I'm not saying the Jets are good. Listen, hear me out. I'm not saying the Jets are good. They're better than people think. They suffered a lot of injuries early on in the season. They were missing the quarterback. They're missing some of the big-name free agents that they brought over. And I think this team, over the course of the season, has had some decent high points, including the one where they embarrassed the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody forgets that game. But they've had a couple of good games. So, you know what? The way Pittsburgh's been playing, they don't know who's going to play quarterback. At this point, it's starting to just fall apart. You can only go so far with third stringers.
Yeah.
Give me the New York Jets.
I think that, Sam Darnold talked about seeing ghosts. Well, he'll be seeing ghosts of me, Joe Green, and Jack Lambert, and Jack Ham, and Troy Polamalu as they come for his soul. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers to just crush them completely.
Oh, Well, we'll talk about this one next week, I'm sure. Jacksonville at Atlanta. Atlanta, man, they're getting lots of props since beating your Niners. Yeah. They are favored by 7.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to take them. I feel like they I feel like they want to finish strong. I think they do like Dan Quinn. I think they're, a lot of people talked about, they wanted to show what this season could have been if things bounced their way. They're still a pretty talented team. Devontae Freeman, Julio Jones, Matt Ryan. And I think I just can't see Jacksonville beating them at home. So give me the Atlanta Falcons.
I'm with you on that one. Next game, man, Baltimore on the road as 10-point favorites. I mean, how often do you see double-digit favorites on the road?
Well, when you're playing the broken Cleveland Browns coached by Freddie Kitchens.
I think you've pretty much summed up the reason why I am going to pick the Baltimore Ravens. Freddie Kitchens is in way over his head.
Oh, my God, yeah.
I mean, and do you know that they actually want to keep him? Or they're talking about, like, they would like to see him?
That's what, look, there's a saying. Bad teams stay bad. Good teams find a way to be good. And that's why Cleveland is Cleveland. Until Cleveland figures out how not to be bad, they're going to stay bad.
Should have never made that higher in the first place.
Nope.
Then we have Carolina at Indianapolis. Indianapolis is a 7-point favorite at home. Because of that, Carolina to me is starting to. I mean, I think this season got flushed, man, and it got flushed fast. I mean, they had a second wind, and that second wind is over. So give me Indianapolis.
You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna take Indy. I think. I think people are kind of figuring. This is the one thing about when you get a backup quarterback and he comes in like Kyle Allen did, and backups are great because they're backups. They can perform for a game or two or down the stretch, but when they have to play this long and you get enough tape and you're able to take away what they like to do and they have to do stuff they're not able to do and they have limitations. That's why they're backups. The truth comes out about them. And it came out for Kyle Allen. I'd like to say that the Niners kind of ended it. Remember, he was like no picks.
Right.
People thought he was the future, and the Niners wrecked that. So, yeah, give me Indy because I think they're a more cohesive team and they're at home.
Right, exactly. And then we have Cincinnati at Miami. Miami is a 1-point favorite at home. Miami's a damn favorite.
Whoa.
That's blowing my mind. I don't know what I would call this, the battle of what?
This is just garbage. Dumpster fires.
Yeah, exactly. Shit, man. I don't know who to pick. Why don't you go first?
I'm gonna pick Miami simply because they're at home and they got Fitzmagic. And
Fitzmagic's a good reason to pick them.
Yes.
At least you can name somebody on
yes.
that team.
Give me Fitzmagic and Andy Dalton. This is the last go around for Andy Dalton. I think. And I've seen a lot more fight out of Miami.
That's kind of why I'm leaning Miami.
Yeah, than I've seen out of Cincinnati.
I'm going to go Miami as well.
Yeah.
Just because, like you said, I've seen them bring the fight in a couple of these games. I haven't seen anything out of Cincinnati all year.
No.
Sunday, the late games, we got Detroit at Denver. Denver is a 7-point favorite, favored by a touchdown over Detroit. Matt Stafford's on IR. I think Detroit's mailing this thing in. Still, I have a hard time pulling the trigger, but just because Denver's at home, they got to win this thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Denver, but I kind of even scared to say
the Lions secondary. The Lions secondary is so bad though, and you know what? You have to look at like what Drew Lock had a bad performance against Kansas City,
but Kansas City's a playoff team.
Yeah, you look at what he did. I think what he did to Houston. I mean, they have, like I said, Denver has talent. If they can find a quarterback, if Lock's the guy. I mean, and you have like Courtland Sutton and their running game. I don't think they're a bad offense. I think they just got to it a little late. So, yeah, give me Denver win by touchdown, 10 points.
Then we have the Oakland Raiders at the LA Chargers. The Chargers are favored by a touchdown. But, man, the LA Chargers, they're not the home team here. There's more Oakland fans. I mean, we live in LA, man.
Yeah.
There's way more Oakland Raider fans than there are Charger fans out here.
Oh, yeah.
I expect the Raiders Raider Nation to take that place over. I expect the Chargers to be the Chargers and just drop the ball. I think Oakland,
Yeah, no, I will never pick Oakland the rest of the season. I know there's only 2 games left for them, but I still won't pick them either one. They could be playing. Yeah, they could be playing like Tijuana Tech, and I wouldn't pick them. What they did last week, I just find is so disheartening and so that ends a franchise.
But that was the franchise in Oakland. Remember, this team has a very strong following in Los Angeles. They were the Los Angeles Raiders at one time.
Yeah, I know, but I think that it bothered them to lose because that was Gruden wasn't an LA Raider. Gruden was an Oakland Raider. Yeah. So I think it hurt him. I'm surprised he didn't fire Carr right then and there for losing that game. Yeah. So Phillip Rivers going to Phillip Rivers. So I got them winning this one.
Okay, then we got a big NFC West battle, the Arizona Cardinals at the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks are favored by 9.5 points. Give me Seattle in this one. Yeah. They're going to be locked in. They're ready for the Niners.
Yeah, that's this is just a warm up. They just want to get through this healthy, I think.
Right. Yeah. And then we have the big game. Dallas is a favorite, man. On the road. 2.5 point favorite on the road at Philadelphia. I was impressed by what Dallas, but we all knew Dallas could do that. We all know Dallas was capable of doing that, but Dallas hasn't shown me the consistency.
They're really not going to pick the Eagles.
I am going to pick the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Dallas Cowboys because the Cowboys, when they're doubted, that's when they play their best, man. When no one believes is when they show up. And when the whole world believes in them, when they're the odds-on favorite, they always drop the ball. So I'm going Philadelphia. I am going to doubt my own team. I don't think they could get the job done.
Unfortunately, I think they can beat them. And because they are. The Dallas Cowboys are just a better team than the Eagles. It'll be close because they're on the road. But when you watch the Eagles, there is something fundamentally wrong with the Dallas. You understand why Dallas is the way Dallas is. They don't, either it's coaching or they don't look ahead. They don't they don't look at their opponent. They always look ahead. They play down to their level of competition. That's the story of the 2019 Dallas Cowboys. There is something fundamentally broken with the Philadelphia Eagles that's not going to be fixed. Dallas, I think, runs the ball. I think they rout them. I think it's a 17 point win.
I agree with what you're saying, that Philadelphia, I can diagnose what's wrong with them. They're physically broken.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are mentally broken. Yeah. We don't know it's going to take a hell of a head doctor to figure out what's going on with the Cowboys because physically, there's nothing wrong.
There's nothing.
There's just something wrong in their soul or their heart
above
or their
the shoulders.
Mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's why I'm going to give Philly the edge, man, because at least I can diagnose them. That's the way I look at it. Kansas City, favorite on the road, 6-point favorite over Chicago. I think Kansas City's on a roll. I do like Chicago because they're at home. I think they play tough. I think that defense will be able to slow down some of the weapons on Kansas City, but ultimately, Kansas City's the better team. I'm going KC.
Yeah, me too. I was about to ask you if you were shocked that it was only 6 points, considering how bad, Chicago their offense looks so bad against the Packers,
Yeah.
So, I don't know. The weather will, like we talked about.
It's going to slow the game down.
It's going to slow the game down. Inclement weather and stuff like that will always help the lesser talented team. So, yeah, give me Kansas City.
And then the final game, Green Bay at Minnesota. Minnesota is a 5.5 point favorite. Give me Minnesota, man. Yeah. Minnesota's at home. I think they're the better overall team. If it wasn't for Aaron Rodgers, I wouldn't have a reason to even consider picking Green Bay. And because of that, I got to go with the fact that 21 is greater than 1.
But that one is ridiculous. That one has ended souls for many teams. So I'm going to take Green Bay. It's funny, though, because when I look at my predictions and I think about it, is I had Minnesota winning the division, and this win would go a long way in doing it. But
so you're not going to stay with the courage of your conviction?
No. Oh, okay. I'm going to stay with the courage of Aaron Rodgers' conviction and winning this division and kind of just solidifying their place in the NFC North. Give me Green Bay. I know they're on the road, but show me Kirk Cousins. Here's another Kirk Cousins moment. You had your chance against Seattle, and you came up short. Show me against Green Bay. At least do this. Beat Green Bay at home on Monday night. Just do that. Let's get that. Let's get to there. You do that, you probably will win your division. You'll have a home playoff game against probably be the Packers.
Yeah, right.
The way everything's kind of flowing out. So can we get that part? Let's make that the task. But I just don't think Kirk Cousins. He's gonna have to show me before I start picking him to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a big game for Kirk Cousins' legacy going forward. I'll take Minnesota 24-17. I got to pick the score for that one. So I'm about to hit the save button. The picks are in on the Pro Pick'em app for the week. We'll see how we did. We'll review these next week. But before we get up on out of here, a little bit of a quick hitter. there was a lot of talk about Drew Brees and where he ranks all time as far as quarterbacks are concerned. So taking a step back from the achievements that he's made for this season and for his career, where would you rank Drew Brees as far as all-time quarterbacks? Is he top 5? Is he top 10? Is he top 3?
He's probably got to be top 10, right outside there, if anybody. You can't. I have a hard time. It's hard because we didn't see a majority of the quarterbacks that they have. Like, I didn't see Montana in his prime. You still have Marino and Elway.
But some of the accolades, like take Montana for example. Look at Montana's resume. It's more impressive.
Yeah.
Look at the achievements besides just the Super Bowls, but just being able to be the driving force for turning a franchise around, which Drew Brees definitely has that on his resume.
Yeah.
He's turned around the Saints. But I just feel like the San Francisco 49ers, they were the innovators of the West Coast offense at that time. They beat teams with precision over brute strength and things like that. They changed the way the game was played, and Montana was the driving force behind that.
Correct.
So I don't see how you can put Brees in, say, the same category. And that's not to say that there's a huge difference. It's just, I mean, when you're splicing hairs in the top 10, I just don't
those things are going to count. Yeah.
Right, those little things count, and I just don't see them. Whereas I can say, even as a Cowboys fan, and knowing how many hearts he broke back in the days for Cowboys fans, that's exactly what it is. He did that to other powerhouses.
Yeah.
He did it for a long time.
If I just kind of hold him to the era I've seen, he's probably top 3, top 4. I mean, it's Brady, it's Manning, Rodgers, and then him, And I think the way I look at Drew Brees is he's outlasted. He's been there, a decade almost with them? Or a little over a decade?
A little over the decade,
right?
Yeah.
And
he won the Super Bowl in 2009.
Yeah, so a little over a decade, I think. Because, I mean, he went like there.
07, 06,
because he went there, and I think that first year they made the playoffs, and I think the next year they won it. Because he went there the same time they drafted Bush. So, yeah, like 06, 06. Yeah, 06, around there.
07, yeah.
So, when you look at, like, I will always look at it, like, because people are going to, he'll be remembered for a while, but as time goes on, as we get older, you're going to have other quarterbacks come up, and then you're always going to know who Brady was. You're going to know who Manning is. But this guy who was 6'1", quarterback, second round out of Purdue, was probably pound for pound one of the better ones I've seen in my lifetime. Yeah. And he's outlasted some of the greats. Like, I mean, he came in with the, with like the McNabbs and the Romos. He's seen a lot of great quarterbacks through his time, and he's outlasted them all. And he's still like one of those ones you kind of look at like, if he's not up there with them, he's at the very top tier of the next ones. I mean, there's a gap. So I've enjoyed watching him play. It's amazing what he's done. I mean, he's benefited like Montana did from Walsh, from having Sean Payton, and they've cycled through, receivers. They cycled through running backs, and he's been the consistent driving force. Right. And, you look at what New Orleans, and I mean, he changed the dynamic of two franchises. Imagine if the Dolphins would have cleared him. Where would Nick Saban be right now?
Oh, he'd probably be the...
Yeah. I mean, he's Belichick, Yeah. It's him and Belichick for a decade fighting for that thing. Right. Because he's got Drew Brees. And after the hurricane, everything that happened to New Orleans, him and Peyton, and I know he doesn't matter, but like the excitement of getting Reggie Bush at the time of what it represented... that just changed the culture of them.
It did. Yeah, it really was exciting.
They were a joke. They were a joke prior.
They were the Aints.
They were the Aints forever. Forever and ever and ever and ever.
He put the S back on the Saints.
Yes. And they're a team that if you got to go into the Superdome and you got to play them, that's...
Oh, yeah. Nobody's comfortable with that.
No.
I think Drew Brees sits at about 10. Yeah. And if you want to be very, very... How do you say it? If you really want to break it down... You may be able to justify him being right outside the top 10.
But, I think 12 right there.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way that you can name me 12 quarterbacks that I'd rather have all time on my roster.
That has both the ability and the resume.
Right. Yeah.
And the championship.
So I think Drew Brees hangs out around the top 10.
Yeah, I agree.
More or less. Because right off the bat, let's just name ones that we know are like shoo-ins for the top 10. Montana. Brady. Elway. Marino. Okay, give me those 4 right off the top. Okay, I think Peyton Manning in his own... Yeah. Yes, right? So there's already 5. And we're just talking about in his era. Who in his era? Right now, I think Brady and Manning.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, you give them that. You'd have to go outside. You have to maybe go.
Can we go outside the era already?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you look at a guy like, you look at Brett Favre. You look at Aaron Rodgers. I mean, those are two that are kind of like,
Aaron Rodgers.
Because they're almost mirror images. It's just
talent-wise, Aaron Rodgers is there.
He has the Super Bowl just like they both have their one Super Bowl. I think Rodgers, because when you start looking down what they have, they both have their one Super Bowl.
It's close.
Yeah, it's close. I think that the one edge I give Aaron Rodgers is the high level degree of difficulty plays that I've seen him make.
Right. I'll say this. Here's a name. Is Brett Favre above Drew Brees?
For the same reason that I have Aaron Rodgers above him, yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It's the same. It's literally Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees,
Steve Young.
That's probably my heart. Yeah, because again, it's the tie goes. What gives those guys, those four guys, the edge? Like I'm saying with those three guys, Young, Aaron Rodgers, and Brett Favre. What gives them the edge is they all have the same amount of Super Bowl rings. They all put up numbers. They all have MVPs. But they were more dynamic. You saw more. And like you said, when we're splitting hairs.
Yeah, right.
That little bit kind of gave him the edge.
Right.
I mean, you're talking about a two-time a two-time league MVP in Steve Young.
Yeah.
And, Super Bowl champion.
Steve Young had wheels, man.
That's
what physically sets them apart.
Sets them apart. Aaron Rodgers.
I think that Drew Brees has a much better deep ball, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Which is crazy because he wasn't heralded for that coming out of school.
Right.
I mean, second-round pick. And, you look at guys like that. I mean, you can get to a few more before. I mean, we're splitting hairs, like you said. But,
yeah. I mean, I'm, as a Cowboys fan, I don't see. I'd even put Troy Aikman in that same area of right outside, like the top 10.
Yeah.
Top 10. I'd have to really debate that in my mind.
But
I put Roger Staubach above him.
Yeah.
Just the resume alone. He's Captain America.
And I mean, like I said, it's kind of like all of them they all have the same thing. I think he had another Super Bowl, and you just kind of had a little bit more than Breeze did. He's a little bit more dynamic. Breeze is amazing. It's not a knock. When we're comparing him to the top 10, 11 of all time this
all time,
all
dude.
time.
This is not.
And I'm sure there's guys who are listening or people listening and tell me about Unitas. If you think Unitas was better, then put Unitas at. I don't know.
My grandfather, man. My grandfather, God rest his soul, man. But he swore by Johnny Unitas. Yeah. I mean, he used to say like Unitas could do anything Montana could do. Just and just except for and I'll quote him, but except for the son of a bitches in those days were a lot tougher.
Yeah,
that's all he used to say, and that's just I'm just giving you a perspective from someone that saw.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But again, that's not a knock on Drew. I mean, who wouldn't love to have Drew Brees on their team?
Drew Brees.
Oh yeah,
Drew Brees is a quarterback for the decade that
he's in his own era, he's easy
top three.
Yeah.
Three, I mean, literally
fourth if you want.
I mean, I think four. If you would go Brady, Manning, Rodgers, and then him.
Yeah, there's no way he's outside of your top 5.
No.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
Crazy.
I mean, quite a career, man. So, I think that's about it. We're gonna cut this one short here on week 16. We'll be back for week 17, but we got a Red and Blue rivalry podcast to get to in just a minute, man. So we got to break down the loss to the Atlanta Falcons. Nobody saw that coming. I didn't see that coming.
No.
Now we got to talk about what do they need to look to going forward. How concerned are you? What's the panic level right now? I mean, not that there should be panic, but just, what is the goal? Concern. Yeah. Right. What are the concerns? My Cowboys actually live up to their talent for 1 week. Rout the Rams. I mean, that was a beating like I haven't seen us put on a team since maybe like 2014.
Really quick before we end, I remember just real quick anecdote. I would put the game on. You guys had just scored. It was towards the end of the half. You guys had just scored a touchdown. I put it back on the Niner game. They go to commercial. I put it back. You guys are back at the 20. I'm like, wait a minute. What happened? I was like, wait.
Did I rewind it? Yeah. That was how that game went, man. So we'll talk a lot about that. And we'll talk about the big NFC East matchup, the battle for the NFC East championship. I mean, the Cowboys can clinch. And, at least Philadelphia, they would have to win these next 2 games. And the Cowboys would have to lose. Actually, as long as they win their next 2 games, they're good.
Yeah, they win out.
They win. So both control their playoff destiny.
Yep.
We'll be talking about that on the Red and Blue Rivalry podcast. So until next time, peace out, everybody.
Lates.